Again, I welcome in 8th session. Our expert is Mr. Harshal Trivedi. He is founder and CEO of Tusker AI and software startup. He is a visionary entrepreneur with a proven track record in the building of AI-driven and deep tech solutions. With over a decade of experience of technology, innovation, and scaling startup globally, he has led impactful projects across the AI, IoT, and enterprise software. Under his leadership, Tusker AI is driving advancement in the intelligent automation, while SoftOne delivers the world-class software engineering services. He is a passionate about the fostering innovation, mentoring startups, and enabling digital transformation. So without wasting time, I welcome Mr. Harshal Trivedi, sir, to start the session.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks, madam, for the introduction.
Thank you.
So,
Welcome.
yeah. So it's always good morning. Today it is like I need to say good night to start the session. So I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, today we would be for next, I think 1 hour, we'll be more talking about more emerging trends into generative AI, robotics, and digital twin. But our focus would be major towards the healthcare domain. So what we would be covering is like what is the healthcare system right now? What are different areas where healthcare ecosystem is working? Will touch base will not take India as a perspective. Will take a global world as a perspective that where the world is there right now and how with this latest technologies which are there in the market, how world is changing. And we'll take few case studies where in generative AI we have our own case studies which we are building into healthcare ecosystem for multiple US companies. So we'll walk you through that few case studies. 1 or 2 are of India as well. And in robotics and all, we'll look at certain advancements which are overall happening. I think there is some noise. So admin, you can mute everyone. Yeah. So before starting, I'll just give some introduction of mine. So I have like 15 to 16 years of experience, specifically into the IT ecosystem. I've majorly played, currently I'm playing a role of a more of a techno-commercial role, where I've actually sold 3 of my companies till now. Right now, we are working as a Sahana Group system company. So it's a listed entity in Indian stock market, having a market cap of more than 1500 crores. And we work in like 2 parts of the world. We do majority of the large scale projects in India for central and state governments into various sectors. And we work with a lot of customers into the US markets. And now we're exploring into Middle East and Europe. When we talk about like depth and breadth of the company, we are more than like 400 plus people into IT, where we work into sectors like healthcare, fintech, defense. In defense, we work with EW, that is electronic warfare, information warfare. We work with a lot of AI, ML, generative AI use cases. So this is like various areas where the multiple departments of the companies are distributed. So as a group, we have like a lot of subsidiary companies as well, and plus into multiple uh, domains. Now to talk about today's topic. So if we talk about like emerging trends, so we talk about generative AI. So everyone knows generative and agentic AI. It's right there every day by knowingly or unknowingly. We are using generative AI, and it is growing at a range of like 36 to 38%, which is the highest ever growth in the market of any of the technologies there. And right now, the projected is like $600 billion of market cap, which generative AI is generating. So eventually, next decade is the AI decade, where generative AI will play a major role across all domains. Today, we'll just look at the healthcare domain. When we talk about surgical robotics, so again, yeah, it's more on a pre bono stage. So it is not like full fledged out in the market. There are certain pilots, certain POCs which are happening here and there. But right now, it's a market of a $10 billion market, and in slowly and steadily it is growing. So in next, like I think 5 to 10 years, we see a lot of healthcare ecosystem migrating towards surgical robotics. And we talk about digital twin. So digital twin is almost there in multiple domains. But in healthcare also, it is like penetrating a lot. And the expected market is around $60 billion. So overall, if we look at the trends across all these topics, it comes around more than like $700 billion of market cap. So it's a good market to go, good market to explore for like anyone who is attending or want to do a research or want to pursue a certain career into this particular domains, specifically to the healthcare. So today we'll touch base on like AI intelligence into healthcare, robotics, and digital twin. Now, if we just like, this is a simple example. If you just type on GPT that if I want to create my career over next like 10, it's a very vague prompt, like next 10, 20 years, what courses I should do or what I should do. So if you see the answers across multiple uh, generative AI platforms, right? Second comes health and life sciences. There were like biotechnology, genetics, neuroscience, robotics, right? So this 5, 6 terminologies are top trending when it comes to building a career or doing a research or coming up with a certain products in next 2 decades, right? So that's why like this is a very hot topic in the market where everyone and anyone should overall look for. Now, when we talk about like current market, so before moving forward, like how different areas will change the role and all, if we look at the current market, so there is a lot of like healthcare crisis. We recently saw the COVID, and we saw like there are a lot of crises. So we'll say like India played a better role than the Western world and all these things, but still there were crises. So if we talk about India, uh, with the population which we have and we are growing, we need more than like 2 lakh plus doctors by 2030. Global nursing shortage is more than 13 million. So nursing is a very big field, right? Healthcare cost is day by day growing for every individual, which is again impacting the economic growth. So like health is the first thing where every budget is taken care of when it comes to any of the country. Second, like when we go to any of the healthcare, so our clinical like clinics are spending more than 60% of time in paperwork. Now this is a global average, so we don't talk about only India. So if few people have been to US, or if we're talking to few US people or your relatives over there, you know how healthcare ecosystem is there. There is lots and lots of paperwork, and there is lots and lots of delays in Indian systems we want. So like due to compliance and regulatory issues, 60% of the time goes into the paperwork. And there are lots of human errors which may not come in front of us, or they are not discussed and kept in a closed loop that caused into death. So traditional system is like more of manual paperwork. It is more reactive than proactive. So it is basically like once we have a certain problem, we go to the hospital or the clinical care. So it is more reactive. It's like once we have something, we go. It is not proactive, right? And right now, what we are talking from last 5-7 years is more preactive. What AI does, it does predictive analysis. But in health, still it is a proactive stuff which is there. So we'll discuss few cases where more proactive things are uh, coming. Other is like one size fits all. So if we talk about latest health tech systems where we have a variable watch, we have aura ring, or there are certain treatments, they are standard for every individual, right? So there is no change in certain treatments for everyone. Now, if we talk about human brain or human nature or anything, every human is different from other. But right now, the treatments are overall same for uh, everyone. And there are a lot of like trial and error treatments which are going on. We might not know, but when you deep dive into the health ecosystem, a doctor will tell, take this medicine. He'll observe us. Once we are into observe, then if it doesn't work, he give us a different medicine or a different treatment. So it is more of a trial and error methods where doctors are applying how our body is impacting to a certain medication or certain observations. So these are current challenges and traditional limitations of current healthcare crisis. Now, other main reason is like why uh, uh, we don't see a lot of buzz around uh, in any latest technology into healthcare. So when we talk about like B2B market, like we talk about e-commerce, we talk about quick commerce, we talk about retail, right? Any other domain, if we talk about stock market, right? There where adoption of technology, any new technology which comes is very fast, right? And it's like it's matter of months, everyone will start adopting the technology and start using. But in health, it takes like years to implement a certain technology or adopt to a new technology. Why? Because like if we start implementing more proactive healthcare stuff, then in healthcare, precision and accuracy plays a very, very, very major role. And it is very important to have a certain level of precision and accuracy. So if we talk about like, say, for example, Zomato has adopted AI or some e-commerce companies have adopted AI, right? But the thing is, if there is margin of error, I think, give me a minute. Is everyone able to hear me properly? Yeah, okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So now, when we talk about B2C market or retail, some errors here and there, it is fine. So if accuracy is 70%, 80%, people don't care, right? Or it is not a life death situation. But when it comes to healthcare, if a deep learning algorithm or a generative algorithm or an LLM underperforms, or it is doing some trial and error, or it is learning from users' data, right? And if there is some accuracy glitch, it can be a life death situation. That's why what is happening? Healthcare, yeah, it's a very big domain, very lucrative domain. But when we talk about research and when we talk about adoption of technology, it is a very it is at a very slow rate because if 1% of error also might impact a lot of patients and a lot of health things. So overall healthcare using an automation technology plays a very crucial role. So that's why currently also we see there are old traditional technologies uh, which are there right now. Now we talk about like healthcare technology limitations. So before understanding how AI is changing everything or how people are adopting generative AI and all, first let's understand what are the technology system limitations. So what I have done, I have like divided into multiple parts. So as and when if we talk about healthcare, what first comes is primary care. So like if we are ill or if we get sick or something, we go to a primary care. So we go to an MBBS doctor or something. That is like uh, we go to a doctor, he'll consult us and then he'll give some prescription and also universally it is known as EHR, like electronic health record. Now it is heavily depend on lots of manual data and lots of critical workflow uh, bottlenecks. So that's why. So if we talk about the Western worlds which are there right now, they have lot of limitations into paperwork. So like if you talk to any people, if you just want to take your blood sample also, that blood sample they will tell you come after 7 days, you come after 15 days, right? And once you give a blood report also, getting a report will take uh, 3 days, 5 days, 1 week of time, right? So that is how the primary care works. It is not there in India because it is not more interconnected system. But when we go to the Western world, it takes lot of time into uh, EHR systems and all. So what is happening? Like all the physicians and basic MBBS are spending like 65% of time rather than attending the patients into documentation. So in India also we observe when we go to any of the visitor doctor, we are like waiting in a queue for like 1 hour. They are doing some treatments here and there. Like they'll put some eye drop, they'll give you some, they'll check your blood pressure and all. So what actually they are doing? Like they are just taking care of you. With doctor, we are having only interaction of say for example 10 minutes or more than 15 minutes, not more than that. Now, actually, we are there in the hospital for 3 to 4 hours, but our actual interaction with the doctor is like not more than 5 to 15 minutes max. So that is the problem of primary care right now. Now, when we talk about emergency care, so after primary care, if there is a certain critical condition, it comes to emergency care. Now, when we talk about emergency care, there is lot of gaps into decision support system. So say for example, if you met an accident and we are going for an emergency care, what will happen? Doctor will ask for all the files. By the time that doing some emergency thing, he will review all the file, he'll check all the files, he'll check your past record because there is no interconnected systems in lot of the parts of the world, right? Some countries have, some countries not have. So it lacks lot of depends on lot of rule based algorithms. There are like if we talk about impact, then 45 minutes to 1 hour it goes in just reviewing what is the old patient data, what currently suffering from, what's there and not. So emergency take care, the accuracy is limited to only 78%. So if you go to an emergency and if the data is on hand, like it can save more than like 40-45 minutes of a particular doctor to start an emergency cure. At next level, when we go, it's more about surgery. Now, when we talk about surgery, all the surgery, so see, this is all sequence wise. First, if we are basic, we go to primary care. Emergency, we go to the hospital. Now, if we are more critical, we go to a surgery. Now, when we go to a surgery, it is more of a 2D image kind of thing. So everyone might have seen a lot of operations and everything which are happening across. I'm not a doctor, but what I've seen from my experience. So what is happening? They put certain cameras inside. They are doing certain operations and all. So it is all 2D imaging. It is not mapped with the 3D imaging, right? So with that 2D image, it is shown on certain screen. Shown on certain screen, doctors are doing certain this. So what is the impact on that? Impact is there is 15% of the chance of unpredictability. So if there is no proper 3D model with 2D model, so these are certain numbers which are there from like a global research forum. So there is a poor integration with equipment, with the planning tool, with the imaging systems which is there out uh, in the market. So there for that risk assessments unpredictably becomes 15%. Now when we, so these are more of the care things which we have. Now, when we talk about other things, into limitations into medical imaging and radiology. Now, when we talk about medical imaging radiology, so like anytime we go to a doctor, right? It's like, yeah, you take this report, X-ray kar lo, ye kar lo, wo kar lo, right? So what will happen? You go to a blood report or you go to an X-ray, right? So anywhere the turnaround time is 24 hours to 72 hours, depending on the whatever reports we are getting. And all the reports which are there, manually, all the medical imaging doctors and radiologists are manually reviewing things, writing their decisions, writing their certain analysis on top of that. And then the actual doctor who is doing a surgery or a emergency care will take certain decisions. So when you talk about like medical imaging expert or radiology expert, they study more than 100 to 200 studies per day, reports per day. And again, there is a very poor integration with EHR records with imaging system in most of like 70 to 80% parts of the world, and there is a lot of manual interpretations and bottlenecks. And a lot of time we will be hearing also like we take advice of doctor 1, doctor 2 and doctor 3, and there are like 80% chances that all the second and third advice might differ from the first advice, right? So that is also a lot of problem because there is no transparency from the medical ecosystem to our normal human being ecosystem because we don't understand how it is working. So it is all black box for us, right? And again, if they tell it is very critical, so out of fear also we do certain things. But this particular field, the turnaround time is like more than 72 hours, say 24 to 72 hours in India. If we talk about like western part of the world, it takes like hell lot more of the time. So it delays the patient treatment. Now, when we talk about pharmacy, so in pharmacy, there are limitations of database. Like for the same medicine, there are certain prescriptions which are given in a different way, right? There is no real-time monitoring which is happening. So we are taking medicines, but there is no monitoring which is happening. So after 1 week, we'll go to the doctor, they'll see certain things, right? Pharmacy data is not integrated with certain EHR, EMR workflows, right? So proper predictive analysis, what drug to keep. So a lot of time it will happen like if we go to buy some medicine, it will like we don't have this, but in option we have this. Now we don't know, we are clueless whether we can take this or not. Other medicine might have a different effect uh, rather than the other with the same uh, type of molecule structure which is happening. So when we talk about the impact into pharmacy, it occurs like 5 to 10% of precision is there, and it is costing more than like 3.5 to $4 billion annually. And again, it is a patient safety risk issue. And this problem everyone is aware, like in the nearest store only we get. Once we go back to our home, in our nearest pharmacy store, that particular medicine might or might not be available. Again, we go back and forth in a certain loop. Now, when we talk about drug discovery data, see, this all comes under healthcare. And then after this, we'll understand how generative AI is changing the complete ecosystem in touching base all these touch points. Now, when we talk about like drug development, any drug which comes, it takes like 10 to 15 years of development cycle where 90% is failure, right? It is the impact. So clinical trials are still traditional and randomized. There is limited biomarkers or parameters which are available to discover new drugs. If from last, if we say from like 25, 30 years, whichever uh, the diseases which are not cured, still we don't have medicines to that, right? Because drug discovery is taking a lot of time, lot of effort, and lot of investments, right? So there is no synthetic control arm to reduce the trial cost and all. So in drug discovery, there is like a lot of problem. And again, the major problem is there is a poor data sharing in research institutes. So right now, if we take an example with GPT, right? If we are typing something or if we are using an Android phone, we know that they are collecting our data. And as an individual, we are okay also if they are taking the data also, right? But that data which they are taking is of an individual. What he's doing is daily activity. Yeah, that might be useful, but that might be useful in selling a certain product or selling a certain thing which might generate a certain business. But when we talk about like drug discovery, there is no data sharing which is there right now. So what is happening? New drugs which are getting discovered is taking hell lot of time and taking decades and decades to get the new drug discovered. So if that data sharing is there, these things can be speeded up and a lot of lives can be saved as well. So these were more on the imaging and development side. Now when we talk about other areas which are non uh, we can say hospital or doctor support area. So mental health. So mental health is a case where we read every given day that 60% of the world is in depression or 60% of the world is into anxiety or people have stress or people have some sleep problems. We have a lot of devices which we already carry, right? We have phones, we have watches, everything we have, we do certain things. But still, there are no standard devices which can track the mental health, right? And if you have a mental health issue also, after certain years or certain quarters, right, we will come to know or we'll figure out, yeah, that we have this particular problem, right? So if we talk about like primary care, so it is like, मुझे बुखार आ गया, so I'll go to a doctor, right? So I know, okay, I'm hot, so I'm going. Emergency care, like we have certain problems, so we directly go. We know there is a problem. When we talk about mental, we don't know what is the problem actually. Now, as and when a body reacts or there is certain reciprocation, then and then we come to know that we have a certain mental health issue. We are wearing all the devices which are there. We have all the things, all the health tech things. Still, this is a very big area where still there are no biomarkers or no devices. So depression screening accuracy is 69%. Again, we go to a doctor, they do question answer thing and all, and they are trying to solve our problems with questionnaire. And every psychology we go, psychiatrist we go, they will have some different opinion for uh, certain things, right? If we talk about telemedicine, again, it is a very upcoming area where like virtual platforms are setting like being set up to do certain telemedicine area, but still 40% of uh, the stuff which are happening in this we need in person uh, doctor remote monitoring. Still we don't have that ecosystem where remote monitoring can be managed at a way where it should be, because there is lack of integration of devices, there is lack of integration of data, right? So telemedicine is there, but still with no proper data and what are proper workflows, uh, it is not having that particular effect. Now, when we talk about healthcare administration, so again, in administration, we go, if we talk about like taking a like medical insurance after the surgery, it takes a whole lot of documentation we required. In India, it might be we call someone and they do, but when we go to other parts of the world, it's a very hectic process for claims management and everything. And still there are legacy uh, systems, right? Anything which is there is a 30, 60, 90 days process cycle, right? And it is spending more than 30% of the cost is spent into the healthcare only. So now when we touch base, these are all the areas where there are certain technologies which are not up to the mark. There are certain integration issues and which are impacting lot of human cycle. Now we'll look at how generative AI is revolutionizing and enhancing certain systems, and then we'll look at certain use cases which we are building for multiple uh, healthcare institutions with generative AI to solve certain problems. Now, when we talk about primary care, We can have an AI-powered clinical documentation. So we all use generative AI platforms, right? Same can be used for doctor-patient conversations. Once it is done, it can do automatic translation, transcription, summarization. It can generate the prescription. Automatically, the workflow can enter the data into the EHR or EMR system. It can again go to the pharmacy. A global health record can be already maintained. So this is like we are using this, but we are using this into IT and other domains. But when we talk about the healthcare domain, we have this technology equipped and ready where like millions of companies are using, but still in healthcare, this is a gap. Now, few companies have done certain trials. So their impact is like they saved 35 minutes per patient visit time. So actual doctor is able to see more than 4 to 5 more patients, improving the care quality. So the doctor efficiency is improving by 3x and he is giving more comprehensive and accurate notes due to AI. When we talk about emergency care, in emergency care, once we have like everything ready, there is no need to check complete patient history, right? As we do with multiple generative AI tool, give me summary automatically with one single prompt or a single chat, we can get a complete patient summary. So in an emergency care, in less than 5 minutes to 7 minutes of time, doctor can start certain treatments where there is a life-threatening condition, right? So when we talk about a certain company, they saw like 25% fast decision making, and they prevented 150 deaths through AI monitoring system into emergency care. So these projects are into certain POCs or MVP or getting implemented in few parts of the thing. Now when we talk about surgery, so currently as we discussed, there are like 2D surgeries. So over here, if we have a 3D surgery platform, so this is again into certain trials. So if we are doing certain heart surgery, right? Still, if we are in 2D, there are certain things which we are only predicting, right? So it impacts like 15 to 20% of unpredictability. But now when we have a 3D surgery, and again it is integrated with an IoT stuff, in real time we can have a 3D visualization of a surgery which is getting done, which can give a visual pathway to the doctor in certain critical structures, and we can have certain predictive modeling for potential complications. So when we talk about John Hopkins, they have AI guided robot platform for surgeries where they reduce the complications by 30 to 25%. This is how AI is shaping the future in each and every segment. But why this is important? Still they are at like with our generative AI, it is pretty much matured into IT or fintech or into certain things, but into health tech, it is not that mature stage which it should be right now. So it's a wide scope where like everyone should explore, picking up one particular thing at a time and like deep dive more into that uh, can have a huge impact in the market. When we talk about medical imaging and radiology, so it comes like X-ray, CT scan, MRI, where it is manually getting reviewed. If the SOPs are fixed, we can train AI models, LLM models, deep learning models, generative AI models. And what will happen? Rather than radiology reviewing 200 reports every day, right? And the like the reports are coming anywhere between 24 to 72 hours. The benefit is we can get it in real time. And again, for a patient, we can get it in a layman language as well. Right now, if doctor is sending something in their terminology, we are not able to understand what problem we have. Right? We are blindly following. It's a black box. So when you talk about like Google Health, AI detects breast cancer by 79 like 94.5% of accuracy. Now, breast cancer is a cancer where in like 70% of the cases, we will come to know when it is at a certain stage of 2 or 3, right? So there are certain systems which are being developed into X-ray, CT scans and MRI, where through AI we can have a accuracy which is higher than 90-95%, and we can have a real time impact on it. Now, when we talk about pharmacy and medication, so we know they don't have any patient histories. They work on certain prescriptions and all, right? So now implementing generative AI into it. So we talk about CVS Health. So as we have Planet Health in India, in US it is CVS Health. So they achieved 85% of reduction in medication error and generating $3 billion in saving, $2.3 billion in saving. So with integration of AI in like this pharmacy, getting patient history and all, they are able to procure the right medicines at the right time. That is one. They have some certain real time monitoring. So if at a certain duration, if certain medicines are required at a certain areas, they are being there, and it can prevent or save a lot of lives, and the drugs can be available at will at time as and when the patient needs. When we talk about like drug discovery development, AI can accelerate it. So if we talk about one example, a 15-year drug discovery took only 2 years. So there is a significant acceleration of more than uh, we can say 15 like 1000% acceleration into it. So what AI based generative AI based drug discovery development can do, so it can design new drugs, new modules, virtual clinical trials. It can generate certain synthetic data on the go with certain prompts, right? With integrating, having some real world data, putting some virtual data, mixing and matching, and new drug discovery can be 50% to more than 1000% faster for new drug development. Right now, it is taking more than 1 to 2 decades to get development. So we'll see one example or case of Google into this. So it will just come next. We talk about like medical health, we can generate certain NLP based behavior analytics and predictive models where we can have mental health issues detected early, right? Again, for telemedicine, if there is IoT integration and everything is in place, then in real time we can like treat the patients anywhere around the world where we have like and precise and accurate overall data. So when we talk about Felix Healthcare, there's 60% reduction into emergency visits by continuously monitoring patients with AI powered systems with like belts, Aura rings, apps and all. So they have reduced 60% of emergency visits of the patients. When we talk about like healthcare administrations and all, we all know what LLM models can do wonders. So there is no brainer over here. If it is gets integrated, this the task which is of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days of any of the workflow can be just done in matter of days or a matter of minutes. So this is how generative AI can impact multiple sections across multiple healthcare domains. So yeah, so I'll just take a pause here for a minute. So if anyone has any questions or any doubts, you can just type in the chat bot on the chat box. So I also know it's a late night. Again, it's a dinner time also for everyone. So hope everyone is getting what I'm trying to explain. So I'm more towards like where we should focus more on next like 5 to 10 years if we want to really want to develop. So like everyone there is this like ये पहले कर लिया तो अच्छा होता, कुछ रह गया, कुछ नहीं किया तो we don't have a certain direction what to do, right? I want to do certain business or develop certain products. What to do, where to do. So that's where I have highlighted that where AI can impact the most and in which particular domains and which particular area. Healthcare is a system where we take only one particular region or what particular state also, it's a very big thing.
Sir,
And
uh,
yeah,
sir, how can AI help in treatment of a recurrent infections? Like there are some type of infections that are recurrent. It means a patient will suffer and on giving the medication and treatment for some time the patient will be treated. But after a time period, specific time period that is 2 to 2.5 months, again the recurrence of the infection is there. So is there any way that AI can contribute in
so I think, yeah, so
letting know
there is, I
regarding
think,
the
yeah, so I think it is the next case study of Google only, which I'll explain. So that might solve your question, I think.
Okay. And
Yeah.
another thing that we had discussed about the breast cancer only. What about the other organ cancers? Like
Yeah, so
skin
I have
also we
taken one
can detect,
example.
but
Yeah,
acha.
so I think we have limited time here. I think 1.1 hour only. So there are a lot of AI models which are there into MRI, CT scans and all, X-rays and everything with DICOM files and
And
all.
what
So I've
about
only
the
listed.
transplant and the donors part? Like there are some transplants are also required in some cases, like
So
kidney
that comes
transplant.
into
So
so that comes into robotics. So that's again a different topic altogether. So it is onto the robotic surgery
organ
part.
transplant and organ donation part also, because after death of the person they might donate some organ. So how
Yeah.
can AI is helping it in that area? If you
So
have
that's
any
what
knowledge,
we,
please.
yeah. So I think, see, if we discuss things, I can answer this question. So as you all know, you all would be from IT background or certain medical background also. So in e-commerce, what you do, right? A vendor is there across the world. We go to Amazon and we buy from a specific vendor with our specific requirement. If we talk about like organ donation or organ donation we take, we can have certain things, but in medical it is still not there. Still there are certain things if you have heard about. So I have kids. So we have taken bone marrows of my kids, right? So we regularly get reports every 6 months that your bone marrows is preserved in this way. Again, that particular lab has bone marrow of more than million of other kids also. They give us the report that it is matching, means my DNA or my bone marrow is similar. So there are like 6 chromosomes into that, X, Y, and everything. So if it is matching more than 4 times, then that bone marrow can be used for some another kid or some another surgery also. That types of reports are right now getting generated. I am getting that report for my kids. So if you check on that part also, you will get to know how that things can be helped. Same can be done for the organ transplant. I don't think so there is a common platform right now, but it is a very pretty much an easy way to build that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can check on the like you can look at the celebrities, like how they look young at like 45, 50, 55, right? We don't look. They take stem cells. So what are their stem cells? Their stem cells are the bone marrow of the kid which is getting born. So what they do genome matching actually. And once if there are certain 6 criteria, the 4 criteria are met, they can take that particular stem. So they look more young. So the new fresh cells goes inside and look. So this is how uh, things can help with AI. This is again a more summary table. Yeah. So this is just a thing. So what AI can do the healthcare. So it can reduce like 70% of the documentation time of doctors, 3x more patient time, enhance diagnosis accuracy, and reduce burnout. Real time clinical insights we can get. For nurses, it can have early warning alerts, right? Automated monitoring. We can have 24/7 clinical supports, which is there right now, but at a certain scale. For radiologists, for every scan, they can have certain AIs which can improve their more efficiencies and all. For pharmacists, it's more of a game changer thing. And for surgeons with 3D surgeries and planning and all, which is still under a research phase, but can change a lot of dimensions into the healthcare. Same for patient care and all. What patient gets, emergency patients, diagnose patients. Everyone is benefited if certain ecosystems are out there in the market with the right set. So again, this is summary of what we have discussed. So I'll just skip this part, like how generative AI can change into the healthcare ecosystem. We'll move more towards the use cases. So it changed into cardiology, neurology, orthopedy, ontology. We can pick one if you are researching. Dermatology, right? We are working with one of the bones and joints doctor in US into 3D modeling space. So these are the companies which are leading the generative AI revolution specific to healthcare, right? Because healthcare should be very specific. So when we talk about Microsoft, they have a Dragon Pilot, Copilot AI for clinical notes and all, which is an advanced speech recognition. The impact is like 50 to 70% reduction in like documentation. So Microsoft that is like trial and tested. We talk about Google Health. They have some Medipalm medicine with a Q&A studio, which automates the administrative task. IBN is like IBN Watson Health, which is an AI powered decision for oncology solutions, right? So we are creating certain things for tooth. We are creating certain things for like arms and all. So that is there.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think anyone has raised the hand. I'll just continue. Dr. Menka, I think you have raised the hand if you have any questions. And we'll just continue further. So yeah, the girl who asked the question, so and some another uh, person also. So this is the case study of Google, which is Alpha Genome, right? If you have heard that, is great. So which is helping AI to understand the genome in a better way. So what is a genome? So genome is a full. So if we take an example, say for example of cooking. So what we have a recipe book, right? So if we go to any kitchen, so there are certain 50-60 items from which any of the cooking material like cooking recipe can be made, whether it is Indian, Mexican, American, Chinese, anything is there, correct? So what is genome? Genome in healthcare is a recipe book of our life. It contains every instruction to build and run our body. So that is a particularly a genome, which is written inside our DNA. DNA everyone might be knowing. So every cell has same recipe in the book, but reads in a different way. So say for example, what we say, okay, like मेरी मम्मी का खाना कुछ अलग होता है, इसके घर के मम्मी का खाना कुछ अलग होता है. So same food, same sabji, but the taste is different. Same way in humans also, where there are cells, and when we talk about genome and all, the thing is everyone reads the same DNA, same genome, but it behaves in a different way. So it is like a chef picking the dish to the cook, right? Now, if reading a genome, a simple like A to B, we read A to B or some sequencing is misinterpreted, it can cause a huge problem. So it is like instead of putting salt, we put sugar. So the taste of the complete recipe will get changed, right? So this is what genome is to our body. Now, Google DeepMind has came up with an alpha genome project, which can read the genome at massive scale. So it can read sequence as well, the whole gene as well, plus single letter as well. So it can work both ways. Current systems which are there without AI, they can either read single or they can read only a whole gene. but not with millions of letter into it. It will take a lot of time to read, analyze the pattern, and come to a certain predictive results. So what an alpha genome does, so alpha genome is a proofreader which reads the complete genome sequence, the DNA sequence, and it figures out what are the hidden nodes and hidden patterns inside the genome and inside our DNA. So what will happen? It can avoid a potential risk to a larger disease. So we'll give you a simple example that in a childhood, so what they did, this is their example only. In a childhood, a doctor interpreted through a genome sequence that the person has leukemia. But technically, as they didn't had a device which can read across millions of letters and all, they predicted in a wrong way. And eventually what happened, it turned out to a cancer gene. So after certain years, they came to know the genome which they detected as leukemia actually was the gene of cancer, right? That doctor couldn't see before. So what this project does, this Alpha Genome project is a Google's DeepMind project where it is unpacking the genetic insights where in real time before a certain cell mutation happens or certain genome or sequences is getting changed, before that it can read and it can give us certain results and certain insights that how we can do early detection. It is more reactive than preventive kind of thing which Google has already developed and which has advanced capabilities, and currently it is used by multiple hospitals into US. So this is one of the very good project into genome sequencing and all. So this is like a certain video. Right. So in real time, it does all these things, gene sequencing and all. Now, one mistake in reading can cause a lot of issues. When you talk about generative AI, like 85% of the healthcare leaders are adopting this. They have positive ROI also. Leading companies are adopting. Clinical training is already happening into this particular space. Now we talk about one of our projects which we are doing for the Indian government. So what we are doing, I'll just explain. So now what health association wants to know. So it is of multiple ministries. We'll just take example of overall health ministry. So what happens if there is a certain outbreak or a certain problem, मतलब कहीं पे problem हो गया ना, फिर उनको कुछ पता चलता है. Now if government is taking certain decisions or certain steps or they are giving certain acts also. So after the act is out, right? Then government will come to know there are certain problems. So what we as a project we do, so this is a complete generative AI project where in real time we scan all the print media and online media. So print media is the physical newspaper which we are getting, and online media is the online newspapers which we read actually. So in total there are 4,500 to 4,700 medias where across India people are reading in multi-language. So there is a ministry which validates all these things also. And it takes a lot of time to validate it. There are a lot of people which are involved in everything. What we do every day 4 p.m. we collect all this data which gets published somewhere. We do real-time translation. We do real-time transcription. We take all the news from all the newspapers and all. We do OCR and all. We do categorization. So do we divide into like political news, healthcare news, this news, that news. Further, we categorize them with ministry level for health ministry, road and transport ministry, this ministry, that ministry. That what we do, we categorize them, and then we do context and sentiment analysis of all the news aggregated. So in India, there is a problem. So we are diversity in unity, what we say. But the problem is from center to state to village to region, this is the hierarchy. And from region to village to city to state to center, this hierarchy from top to bottom and bottom to up. So what top guys are speaking, it's not reaching to the regional level where we live, right? Where we are the consumers. And what we want, or there is certain problem in our region or our area, it is not reaching in a right direction with the center where they can take certain necessary action. So what we do, we collect all this data. We do a lot of we take a lot of context, we take a lot of sentiments, we divide across ministry wise, and then we generate a report every day morning before like 7:30. Every ministers will go. First, they'll look at these reports that what India is speaking right now. And top of that, they can take certain decisions in certain areas. I can't speak much more what we do. It is a PMO reporting project. So every day, PM also visits this report in the morning. First, he is there in the office. So this is what we do overall in this project, where health ministry also gets a report and what is the situation of health across India, region wise, village wise, state wise, city wise, state wise, till the center. And this is complete project is done through generative AI, right? And we have implemented this project in less than 3 months using the generative AI tools, LLM models, and everything. If we take this project, can take more than like 2 to 3 years to 5 years to get developed. But with all the advancements of AI which is there, we have developed into in like 3 months of timeline, we have developed the complete overall project. We'll talk about another project. We have developed a nurse which is every day resolving more than 50 patients skincare problem, right? So he's one of our customer also. He's a very leading doctor in the town, where in real time there is a chatbot which is an AI nurse where you can just talking to it, it will listen, it will interpret, where we have trained it through LLM models and all, and it will give you a precise uh, reporting and precise summary and medication. So and every day there are like uh, patients which are coming, which are solving their problem without reaching to the doctor, and this is happening in India. With this, I think more than in a month, like this is live from last 6 to 8 months. Right now, they have reached more than 1,000 patient inquiry per month with this particular tool. This is just a demo. I can't show you the real uh, thing. So you just need to talk according to what you talk. And AI nurse, this is specific to skin disease only, right? That this is what we have developed. You can upload your images in real time. It will scan your images. It will give you the cure. It will give you the treatment. It will give you what medication you should take. Everything uh, this AI particular bot, nanobot, will let you know. So this is one of the other example where we are using generative AI. We'll skip this. This is more into the radiology and all these things project that we have done for US. So this is one many other project into healthcare analytics, where currently we are managing more than 30% of PHI data every day in US. So this is a very big project which we are managing right now. So every day in US, there are 33 to 35 million PHI data which is getting generated from the platform which we have created right now for our customer. It is managing more than 10 to 12 million PHI records, doing real-time analytics, doing real-time AI, doing real-time predictive things, and generating certain reports. This tool is implemented in the health exchanges. So US works in a way. So if we talk about India, तो इंडिया में हमारे पास वो म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशंस होता है, राइट, हेल्थ सेंटर्स. So US has the same thing, but in US the situation is different. They are known as counties and they are told as health exchange. So all the hospital in a specific county is connected to the health exchange, right? So health exchange के पास पूरा डेटा होता है. So मतलब हॉस्पिटल का भी होता है और इंडिविजुअल क्लिनिक मतलब जो पर्सनल प्रैक्टिस का भी होता है, वो सब डेटा हेल्थ एक्सचेंज के पास आता है. एंड दे डू lot of data work and all, right? And on top of that, that county or health exchange will decide that what type of medicines or drugs we have to procure. कब कौन सी मेडिसिन चाहिए, कितने डॉक्टर्स चाहिए, कौन से टाइम पे कितने स्पेशलिटी वाले डॉक्टर चाहिए, अपने यहाँ पे क्या कौन से पेशेंट्स है, क्या है क्या नहीं, राइट? एंड एवरी वन हैव डिफरेंट टूल्स एंड डिफरेंट सॉफ्टवेयर्स. So I'll not go much into deep. It is again HIPAA, high trust, whatever we say, it is compliant. So details come from all the format like EMR, HL7, CCD file, flat file, claims, everything. What we do with AI in real time, we do data quality, duplication removal and all. We have a standard repository and then we do all these things through AI with complete workflow automation. And this is used by almost all the counties plus health exchanges into US. This is a mammoth data which we are managing every day. So more than like 10 million plus data which is managed through our particular platform. Where like, see, these are all the health exchanges which are using, these are real-time analytics, reporting through generative AI, machine learning, deep learning, which is getting overall generated, right? With business intelligence, visualizations, and everything. Yeah, so we again skip this particular thing. This is more on an X-ray project which we did with one of our customer. So any questions till now? So this is more of what generative AI does. So we have touched one part of the thing and the use cases which we have developed for multiple customers. So any questions anyone has?
No, sir. The participants, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Anybody has any question?
Okay, so I'll just, ma'am, how much time we have?
We have still 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so yeah.
Sure.
So
Yes,
further
sir.
yeah. So we have again two sections left. This was more on generative AI things, what is happening right now. And if there are people who are here who are researching into multiple things, so I'll just give you a few idea where as a company we are researching and we are investing also. So if anyone wants to do some joint project or some collaboration into it, so I'll just take 1 minute. So see, as a company, we are working into first two parts, primary care and emergency care. We have a complete portal with the use case which we explained. So if anyone wants to do something into it, we are more than happy to do some joint project or collaborate. We are doing few projects into medical imaging and radiology, right? So there where if there are certain interest into research, we can help them out. We are doing multiple things into medical health, telemedicine, and healthcare administration. We have projects from India as well as US. So if someone has some interest into this particular line and also, so what is misunderstood is healthcare. तो healthcare में इतनी सारी लाइनें हैं तो इसमें for some specific thing you can work. Mental health also, there are like 15 odd things. We can work on one or two things. So if anyone has certain things and all, you can like reach out to me or connect me anytime where we can meet in person and all, and we can discuss your research problem and all. We can take certain things further. Now we'll more jump on to the robotics thing. Yeah. This as a company, we are not working, but we know few people who are working into this particular stuff where we are helping them with AI models, not into robotics. So where robotics is advancing into healthcare. So like traditionally, it's like surgery is dependent more on surgeon. So we need surgeons. In India, कॉल पे काम हो जाता है, यूएस पे ऐसा नहीं होता. There is lot of long waits. Like एक बेसिक चीज के लिए एक एक महीना 2 2 महीने का वेटिंग होता है. एवरीवन वुड नो. Manual patient handling is there. Rehabilitation is a very costlier affair, right? Paperwork and all. Human gaps, yeah, there are human errors. There are fatigue factors. मतलब एक surgery takes lot of time. So due to fatigue also, there is a lot of accuracy issues which are coming. There is a like staff shortage is always there. So India is more unorganized, but when you go to other parts of it, it's more organized. So you need to have a proper degree, proper thing. कोई भी ऐसे आके आपको इंजेक्शन नहीं लगा सकता, right? So there is a staff को आपको shortage बहुत सारा मिलेगा, and there is a longer recovery time also. A longer recovery time, again, it is hitting the patient's pocket only, right? Again. So how the transformation is happening? So we'll skip all this part. We'll directly go to what is actually happening. So surgical robotics is coming, rehabilitation robots are coming, hospital service care robots are coming, which can act like a nurse, and diagnostic robots are also coming. जहाँ पे आपने MRI या CT स्कैन करा है, रियल टाइम वही वो सब कुछ करके आपको एनालिसिस करके दे देगा. So we can see like a few videos which I have gathered. So this is like one of the Indian doctor. Uh,
Sir, voice is not coming of video.
yeah. So this is more of a robotic surgery where one doctor is sitting somewhere and it is an FDI approved device which is there, and doctor is sitting in Florida and curing some patients through robotic surgery in Africa. This is what they are trying to explain.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So again, someone who is researching into robotics into healthcare, you can connect these institutes. We also have few connects. So if we can put up a letter or email something and they might help you. Again, these are more costlier thing happening in US only, not in India. So this is one of the thing into robotic surgery, which is an advancement. Again, FDA has given an approval. We already know about Neuralink, where they are doing certain invasive things into the brain. This is one of the other robots where this type of robots which are coming. If we can look, these are surgical robots which can act, help alongside the doctor and do certain surgeries. Again, these are FDA approved surgical robots which are coming out in the market. See, these are the instruments. If we talk about another enhancements, so this is more on a rehabilitation kind of thing where robots are themselves helping the patients into rehabilitation, which can stop more like less time to the hospital, and by through home only they can use certain things. This is more into rehabilitation. There is a lot of research happening into this. So like currently people are more towards B2C and B2B markets. But if we focus more on this, this can be a game changing thing. And next $1 billion companies will come more from the uh, healthcare domain only. Other domains also, but healthcare would be more. कभी आप मार्केट में से उड़ नहीं जाओगे अगर आप हेल्थ केयर में हो तो अभी की कंपनी का क्या आज है कल शायद उड़ गई राइट रेवेन्यू कम हो गया कंपटीशन आ गया इसमें कंपटीशन आना विल टेक लॉट ऑफ मनी लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट्स लॉट ऑफ टाइम एंड ऑल and we'll move to a PPT. Yeah. So these are few examples which I showed you. Again, these are just a few things out in the market. Is more on the digital twin. Still, this is into research. So digital twin help more on 3D visualization with integration and all, where doctor can get more fragmented data, can get proper images, where they can cure the person in a very proper and a faster way. Still, this is more into a research side of things. Digital twins are there, but they are more into smart cities and all, not into healthcare. They are there into healthcare, but in a very limited use. Where in digital twin, we are helping one ortho in US with the 3D arm stuff and all. So I think, and these are the companies we are more researching into this type of domain. People are telling there is a lot of job market is bad and all. Over here, there are like hundreds of requirement of people where they need who are researching on these particular areas. So that's a different scenario into the healthcare thing. If we talk about, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I think I'll conclude here. So if anyone has any questions, doubt, you can ask. And as I said, these are few areas where we are working with multiple customers and doing research also. So if anyone wants to collaborate and do, we can have a discussion later on. You can ping me. So I think these are my credentials. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Yeah. So any questions?
Participants, any questions? Okay. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for briefing about that healthcare. And it was really a nice session. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.